Get started here. Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us for another weekly edition of our real estate backstory. My name is Alan Richards. I'm the managing broker at Maximum Realty and Realtor Partners. This is my partner.
My name is Ming Richardson. I'm the compliance broker for Maximum One Realty and Realtor Partners.
And then every week, every Monday morning, we start off at 9 a.m. with kind of like a state of the union, what's going down, what's happening in the real estate world here in the Atlanta market. And this week, we are blessed to have Miss Brenda Landers with us from High Priority Plumbing. And now, before she's going to talk in just a second, but I got to get her some props, because one of the things that we as agents really need is to have resources and well, not just resources. I mean, like knowing the folks that want to work with us. Like I like working with people that know, respect, and appreciate us. And Brenda and High Priority are folks that really do support the real estate community. We personally use High Priority. They've actually rehabbed some of our offices, things like that. And what we like is that they have like a big staff. She'll probably tell you more about it, but like this is a plumber you can get the next day, if not the same day in some cases, kind of thing.
Well, they're not just in plumbing, they also have septic as well.
How about we just let you talk,
yes.
Brenda? So let you tell us what you do, because I think we've pimped you out enough at this point. We didn't get paid for that either, by the way, but everyone needs to have a good partner. So.
Hey, well, first of all, I love you guys, right? You're amazing. I love all your community efforts and how you support your team 24/7. You're always there. I love going to the new offices as you've opened them too, and just see all the camaraderie and everything. It's like a big family. So that's awesome. But yes, we love to partner with Maximum One. We do residential and commercial plumbing. And septic, we added septic in 2020, which is super fun. I know, isn't that crazy that I'm calling it fun?
I'm not sure I define that as fun, because that's the stinky part of plumbing right there. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So anyway, but we can help with all that. We can lay new water lines. We added a trenching division as well. So normally when you get water lines replaced, it takes a little longer because most plumbing companies have to subcontract that out. And so getting on the schedule is more difficult, but we do all that in-house as of the end of 2020. And so we are happy to help with any of that. We do have almost 50 employees now. And
wow.
Yeah, and we serve all of Metro Atlanta, Lake Oconee, Lake Sinclair, Fayetteville, Peachtree City, Griffin, the whole area, Athens. And so anyway, we are happy to help you guys with anything that you have need of. And we're hiring. We have plumber helper position open, which is a great entry-level position for someone that wants to get into plumbing. We train them and pay them on the job. And then within a year or so, they're in their own truck. So anyway, we want to be a blessing to our employees, our customers, and our community.
That's awesome.
Great. Well, you're a blessing to us. We love how you support agents, and there's just certain businesses that reach out and embrace the real estate world, and you guys are one. So we just kind of appreciate that, and we appreciate you. So thank you for joining us, telling us about what you do. How do folks reach you if one of their clients needs plumbing services? How do they reach you, or how do they place an order, that kind of thing?
So you can call our dispatch team, which is 770-860-8110. Check out our website, highpriorityplumbing.com. And please like our Facebook and follow us on Instagram. We have all sorts of tips and blogs, and we have some funny stuff coming up and community stuff coming up as well. So thank you guys so much.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. All right, we're going to kind of jump on ahead here. All right. So this week coming up we got a lot of things going on training wise in the offices, kind of thing. So today, starting at 11 o'clock, we have the Buffini 100 Days to Greatness program starts. That's going to be every Monday at 11 a.m. And so basically what this program is, it lays the whole thing out. It sets it up where there's a workbook that goes along with it, and then all the branch managers in all of our locations are participating in it. And so we have workbooks for you. come in, we'll go through the training together, we'll work on the action items, and then we actually move into more like an accountability stage. And so I implore you, I beg you, take advantage of this training. It really is rock solid. It's going to take about an hour of your day, an hour of your week, and it really will help you grow your business, kind of thing.
And I will tell you, Buffini has built his business based on referral system, and there's nothing better about a business that, other than referrals. You don't have to talk to folks that you may or may not know. These are warm referral versus cold. So I will highly recommend it. Please.
Now on Tuesday, our very own Nancy is going to be going over a refresher course on all Maximum One agent tools. For some of the folks that have been with us for a while, sometimes agents just forget about some of the things we have. So in our concierge office tomorrow, Nancy's going over a list of all the different tools, how to access them, how to get really in touch with all those resources.
It help you to streamline your business. Not only that, it help you to navigate much easier without trying to figure out what's next. So for some of our older agents, they don't realize we have some of these tools available, which could make their life so much easier. Yep. So when I say older, meaning the hires back when we first started.
Not age.
Not
Yeah,
age-wise,
exactly.
But the people that's been with us for a long time.
All right. Now Wednesday, I'm teaching lead generation in today's market. I'm teaching that here in the McDonough office. It's also going to be on. You can also catch it virtual. But please come check me out.
I was going to say we have fabulous breakfast here, so yes, I'm always pimping that out. And but come and meet some folks that's in the industry, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised how much you get in class.
Now, if you do need online, on Thursday we have a 2021 contracts review. It's online. It's GAR versus RE. Well, maybe versus is the wrong word, but it
just tell you the difference of the different contracts.
Yep. And then on Friday, we have a very cool in-office activity. I don't know if activity is the right word. We have
We have a lovely couple who's recently been married.
Yeah, well, Brittany and Kareem, they're agents of ours, and they flip houses, and they really are an awesome couple. We're blessed to be able to work with them, and they have agreed to kind of go over how to flip the script, how to flip houses from an agent's perspective. And so they're going to be covering that live in the Fayetteville office. So please, at 11 o'clock on Friday, if you got some time, come join Brittany and Kareem as well as Wordsworth.
In our Fayetteville office.
In our Fayetteville office. Because that's one of those things that so many agents really want to know about. And then don't forget, every Monday at 11 o'clock, we're doing the Buffini training. So please jump in with us. If you haven't seen it, it really is a very comprehensive program.
Is that in class only?
It's in class only.
Okay.
If you wanted to do it online, you'd have to go and buy it directly from Buffini. So
it's $500.
Yeah, and so that way. But every module covers different aspects of creating your business, and so it starts off launching your career, working by referral, working a database, 80-20 rule, all the way down, working buyers, sellers, the whole 9 yards. So we just really implore you to take advantage of this training. We are excited about rolling this out. So we kind of want to take just a second here and talk about where we're at in this market right now, because overall our market is nuts, but it's not that nuts. Okay, and we need to kind of understand where we sit in this marketplace right now and what's going on. It really is time to think twice before we go through and remove a lot of contingencies. Now, our market is not going down. Okay, it's not tanking. We're not in a bubble. It's nothing like that. But it is showing signs of cooling, and honestly, it's showing needed signs of cooling. We can't keep maintaining a 20% property value increases. That will create a bubble, but that's not where we're at. And so it is time for buyers to reassert their rights here about what do they need to, what needs to be in offers and what do we need to do. So
for inspections, I highly encourage all buyer, and I know they're getting tired of being outbidded, but what is worse than buyer remorse once again to a property and knowing that this property has all these issues?
Well, not knowing that they sometimes, because
No, they would still get inspection even though they had no due diligence period, and either they move forward or they lose their hefty sum of earnest money. And I've seen as much as $10,000. Y'all, $10,000 not easy to come by for a buyer. And these folks have saved a lot of money in order to get to that position. So, a lot of time buyer will have buyer remorse. If nothing else, give them minimum 2 to 3 days to change your mind if that is the case.
Yeah, but we really, we do not recommend skipping inspections, waiving appraisals, and then
lastly, financing.
Well, yeah, well, before we get there, waiving appraisals, we are seeing folks in the past, and over the past several months, where they would waive the appraisal contingency and just basically put their earnest money at risk is really what the majority of the buyers were doing, and now it's not moving into that kind of market. When we start talking about the changes in financing, up to now, FHA and VA buyers were kind of like, not treated with any love. I mean, we're just going to put it that way. It was all about cash and conventional. And now, especially over the last couple of weeks, the percentage of FHA and VA buyers that we've seen coming through the brokerage and just activity online has just been way, way better than it has been. So, our market is slowly shifting. This is also kind of a wake-up call for our listing agents to be like, we've got to be reasonable about what's going on. Some of our sellers now are starting to expect that I can just name any kind of price and throw it out there. And now we are seeing where price reductions are increasing at the moment. It was up we had 4% more price reductions in the last 4 weeks than we've had all year long. And so the market, she's a shifted, but it's not going down. And I don't want to cause any stir, any panic like that. But we do have to understand that things are evolving. I mean, the only constant we have in real estate is change.
Correct.
And so, we just want to kind of get real with you here for a bit, kind of thing. Because also, don't forget that this is still a phenomenal time to buy. Okay. I mean, we really want you to understand, and we're going to share the screen again here, kind of thing. Why is it a good time to buy? Well, first of all, inventory really is rebounding. Okay, we're starting to get more and more inventory on the market out there. Interest rates are stupid low, crazy low. Like right now, we'll cover it in a minute, but interest rates are 2.8, and we have our lowest 15-year fixed rate ever this week. Well, what happens when rates go up to 3.5%? So on a $250,000 house, at 2.8%, just principal and interest is going to be around $1,000. But when that goes up to 3.5%, well, that's $1,250. And then when it goes up to 3.8, which is kind of what they're predicting by mid next year is going to be in the mid to high threes, that's almost $1,400. I mean,
so with 1% of interest increase, you're looking at about almost $45,000 worth of property that you can't buy.
Yeah.
So. And
then lastly, we're seeing where mortgage applications are down. We're also seeing where a lot of buyers are just kind of getting tired, and that's turning into a really good time to buy right now. So don't give up, I guess is what we're saying, or what we're covering there.
And listing agent, be reasonable and make sure you have seller consultation to where they understand what's going on. And there are going to be sellers that's not going to listen to you, and I totally get it. So. But
it's much easier to have that conversation when you said, hey, this is where our market is. And then they're like, well, I want to try this. And then you're able to be like, well, I told you so, as opposed to just throwing it out there and then trying to ask for a price reduction afterwards. That's where it gets really, really difficult, kind of thing.
Right. And let them know that you're a partner with them. You're not trying to lessen their house. Yeah. Your objective is get them more money, the maximum money that they can get. But understand, if the market does not move with that price, then it's time to reduce.
Now, the eviction ban has ended, okay? And now the Biden administration was really, really pushing to try and get something happening in Congress. The House tried something on like Thursday and Friday. Nothing came through. Biden did push for FHA and FHFA to be Fannie and Freddie basically to up their eviction bans. But that's only for rental properties that are backed by an FHA loan, which is not really a huge percentage kind of thing. And so, now overall NAR and most realtor organizations here in Georgia, we were one of the states that sued. And so, the Biden administration knows that they can't go to the CDC well to push this again anymore.
Correct.
And, this is one of those where it really is a double-edged sword. The majority of landlords in the U.S. are small, single family landlords kind of thing. They own one or two rental homes, and they really can't afford to continue to keep making those payments and that kind of stuff without any income coming in. On the other hand, we know that there's folks that are hurting still, and a lot of folks that need that assistance. So it really is a tough place. And so where we really want to go is that there is several resources out there for folks, but a lot of times, people don't know where to get them. And so you can find, CFPB is putting one out at consumerfinance.gov/rent help, where you can find a lot of different resources. This is also, NAR has put forward, and you can, this is, you don't even have to be a realtor to pull these resources, but you can go to the National Association of Realtors website, and you can pull up all these different resources. So NAR has FAQ and resources, CFPB, Treasury Department, National Council of State Agencies, Low Income Housing, National
Right.
Multifamily, HUD rental assistance programs. There really are a ton of programs out there. So if you have people, if people get asked questions about it, direct them to these resources, because I don't want to see anyone hurting. I don't want to see the landlords, and I don't want to see the tenants hurting. And so this is really kind of one of the best things that we can kind of offer. We're not trying to be political. We don't want to get political. That's not what this is.
But we do want to provide our clients and also anyone else out there with assistance and resources.
So overall, business reopenings have really, really helped push the GDP. Our GDP grew at a rate of 6.5%, which is higher than
Earlier this year.
It's one of the highest GDPs
Right.
ever. And so now, economy-wise, we are now exceeded pre-pandemic eras time.
Pre-demic levels.
Yes, thank you. Very good. At the same time, our new, we mentioned it earlier. Overall, the 30-year fix is a 2.8. Okay, that's a phenomenal rate. The 15-year fixed rate is a 2.10. That's the lowest rate ever. Okay, like since ever, kind of thing. And so, the Fed met last week. They're gonna keep buying asset purchases, which basically means the Fed's going to keep buying 10-year treasuries. When the Fed keeps buying 10-year treasuries, it's going to help keep the interest rates low. And so there's been some concerns with inflation. The Fed really does feel that the inflation is much more temporary. We'll see kind of where that goes, because we kind of, where we go to next here, where we kind of want to share is, Lawrence Yun kind of came through and he showed overall he went through a leadership live series where he went through kind of what's the economic outlook. And so we want to kind of share the highlights of that with you, because he's the chief economist, the head guru, the big brain at NAR, if you would, and we really do admire him. We think that he really is really, really brilliant and really staying on top of trends. And so we kind of want to share with you, his findings and what all he had to say, kind of thing. And so first thing is that overall typical wealth gain from this is from 1 year, but this is in the last year. Here in the Atlanta area, the average homeowner grew almost $30,000 of value of the last year. So when you're talking to renters about should you buy, I mean, this is a legit fact. Like, well, if you'd bought a year ago, your house would be worth $30,000 more than what you paid for it, kind of thing. And so even though we talked about a cooling of the market, we're not talking about prices going down. We're talking about, we still have a massive deficit, and we'll show you some information that kind of, shows that as well. Overall, like we said, home prices here in the Atlanta MSA continue to climb, and they're still on a steady increase. You can kind of see where we've been, all the way back from 2011, 2012, kind of the incline on home prices. Now, Atlanta is still very reasonable, and Georgia overall compared to a lot of the nation, but we are steadily increasing, kind of thing. Now, how about sales? Are we topping out? And so if you look at, this is the number of sales, and we have had less sales over these last couple of months. But this is a supply versus demand issue, where we have a ton of supply. What we haven't had let's reverse that. We've had a ton of demand, thank you, but we've not had a ton of supply. And so that has made our numbers, the actual volume of transactions, going down. You can kind of see what the trend is, but that's been based on availability, not based on desire, if that makes any sense. Now, mortgage applications, this is one that I do find troubling. Mortgage applications are sliding down. We talked about earlier about it's a good time to buy. There's less and less people that are out there applying for mortgages right now. And so we want to see that same kind of activity increase, because one thing that we are seeing is we're seeing a higher percentage of listings coming on the market right now.
And as you can see by this trend, approximately around about February, March, that's when the seller is demanding and understand what the market's doing. And so therefore you have some buyer that got discouraged. You can see the downward trend for that. But we did have a spike in June and now coming back down July. So, but as we said, there's more inventory on the market now today. So please encourage your buyer to take an opportunity and go ahead and purchase.
So we are starting to see a slight uptick. But that being said, if you look at the trend, it's a little bit scary. Mm-hmm. And so you can kind of see over the last several months, and now these are historic normal averages that we're looking at here. But you can kind of see what our uptick, what the current trajectory is that we are increasing in the number of listings right now. And so, our inventory is showing an improvement. So when you show an improvement in the inventory levels, really great interest rates, this is still a really great time to buy right now. Now, how about housing forecast? When a lot of folks say, well, this is a bubble and this market's really going to drop. Okay, the red line kind of shows where overall average housing runs. And underneath it, you can see how many houses that have been built. And you can see what happened in the 2008 kind of decline, recession. Look at what happened with housing starts. We didn't build houses. All we did was make babies. And so for the last 10 years, roughly, we've not met demand. Only for this year and next year. You can see
the gap just by the graph.
Yeah.
That we have not supplied our demand of our growth.
Yeah. Right now we have about a 5.5 million deficit of homes, and about the most number of homes that we can kind of build is around 1.5 million, 1.6 million a year. And so we're not looking to get out of this anytime soon. The millennial generation is our largest generation. They're all about 28, 29 right now. And the first-time homebuyer age is 33. So they're all moving into first-time homebuyer age over the next 4 years. So, this is not kind of going away. And then, we talked about this earlier, but this is, consumer inflation is really, really, really rearing its ugly head kind of thing. And this is something that Mr. Young kind of pointed out as well. It gets really scary when you look at where the consumer price inflation is and where it's accelerating. It's in double digits now, kind of thing. And so we have some concerns with that. We really do hope it is much more temporal kind of thing, and that it will abate. But with all the supply and demand issues going on, it's hard to say right now. We'll see where things are really heading, but it's definitely a concern. When we turn to the job market here in the U.S., we still are below pre-pandemic levels. Now, the positive side, as you can see, the trend is moving in the right direction. We are moving in a positive way when it comes to jobs. But overall, this is percentage change of non-farm payroll kind of thing. And you see that overall, Georgia's still down 2.5%. Now, overall, that's much better than a lot of the country. There are a few places better than Georgia, but not many kind of thing. And so Georgia's been doing really good, relatively speaking, especially when you compare it to a lot of the other parts of the U.S. We actually rank out pretty high there. And so that bodes really well. Here in the Atlanta area, this is what our jobs market looked like just in Atlanta. And so you can still see that still we are still down. That's that 2.5% that we're showing down. At the same time, oh, whoops, well, helps if you go the right way, Al. Go figure. Job openings are also at an all-time high. So we still have high unemployment, but we still have more job openings than we have had since 2000. Well, in a long, long time. You know, this right here shows 6 years, and you can see where the number of job openings, the number of now hiring signs are out everywhere. But there's still some people that don't feel comfortable. There's still some fears about COVID and that kind of thing going on. But let's face it, you know, there's a lot of jobs out there to be had, which bodes well for where our economy is going. So overall, for existing home sales, annual and forecast, this is really what they're looking at. They're looking at you know, overall, us continuing to move up in 2021 and 2022. We'd like to see more and more sales, not just dollar amounts kind of thing, but actual numbers of
Units,
sales. Yeah.
right.
So that's from launch in. Also, there's some new information that just came out. It said 30% of all homes are now investors. Well, not investors,
Well,
cash.
And that's because due to a lot, once again, as we mentioned in the past, Ribbon, Divvy, and Home Partner America.
That's true. But now here in the Atlanta area, now that may 30% is the annual, I mean, is the national number. Here in Georgia, 40% of all of our listings were bought with cash, which is really, really staggering when you look at it. You know, this is where, you know, this kind of shows the national numbers, kind of where it's been running over the different years. And, you know, investors were heavily buying in 2011 and 12, 13, coming up out of the recession. There was a lot of investor activity, and that's why those numbers were where they are. But where does that really take us right now? Well, on one hand, you know, like annual foreign investment is down big, like really big, down by a quarter, 27% decline in foreign investment. So we aren't seeing foreign investment coming in. But guess who we are seeing poke their dirty little heads up? I'm sorry, that shouldn't tell them.
Who is actually now #1 buyer?
All right, so iBuyers are back in a big way. And so, you know, Mike DelPrete, he puts a lot of cool information out there, but you can kind of see what's been the buying activity for our buyers all the way through. And for Q2 2021 was the best year ever, or best quarter ever for Opendoor, Zillow, and OfferPad. They're all rocking it out right now, and they're having their best times ever. And so, you know, they are really, really competing with us heavily at the moment. And so, you know, I'm not super excited about that, but know that they're in our marketplace, and we have to deal and work around them. At the same time, new home sales hit a 14-month low. We are concerned about this because one thing that we need more inventory. And so, but, you know, part of that inventory issues has been staffing, supply of
Supply has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, but you know, even, you know, a lot of what the builders need, I mean, not just the pricing on softwood prices, but like windows are like 16 weeks to get windows.
And labor as well, because some folks were sick due to pandemic, and there's a lot of inconsistencies.
So really are hoping to see more new inventory come on the market, but it sure doesn't look like it right now. You know, our new home builders have a lot of challenges on them. Probably the biggest one being price. In order for them to make money, they're having to raise prices, and then that really does hurt.
And honestly, if you're a buyer's agent, please inform your buyer that builder has every right to build a home in 2 years. So if they're in a hurry to move in, new construction, unless it's ready to go, is not really a great option for your buyer. And don't get upset when a builder tells you they can't finish it in time, because they're working with a lot of restriction as well.
And we're also seeing some crazy thing happen with the builders and commissions.
And the builder is actually doing highest and best right now. Some are, and I have to give a shout out to Capshaw every time, you know, when industry change, they typically remain very constant and very fair.
They've been doing really good to take care of agents. Yes. You're right. All right, so we want to share this with you. 1/3 of sellers admit to using spy cams during showings. Okay,
I think it's more than that.
creepy. I'm so well, but 1 out of 3 houses that we
But
go into
honestly,
has spy cameras in them. This is nuts.
And they can tell you who is a buyer who's most interested in property, and that sometimes that's help with their selection of buyers and how to push those buyers. So
I mean, personally, I didn't dream it was 1/3 of people had hidden cameras. Ming thinks it's way more than that. I'm just amazed that 1/3 of people
a lot of people are
admit.
doing Nest Protect and Ring Protect or whatever.
Well,
the
but
Ring
the Ring is different, but these are spy cameras, and so they went and said, okay, creepy people, why do you have spy cameras in your home? And so, over 50% said that they want to understand the do's and don'ts about what they like about the house. I just think that's kind of, I think that's a BS word way for it to be. Sorry. The 36% said they want to gather information that will be useful during negotiations. Now, we have seen that where clients will negotiate with their client and talk about what they should do with their offer on that. Another 31% want to ensure their home is safe. 23% want to see what you're saying about their house.
So be careful you don't violate fair housing. Okay,
Yep.
It does make a difference, and these sellers can report you.
But this is one of the biggies that we kind of have to be ready to inform our clients. I mean, even 5 years ago, I just didn't. This was not something that was part of our vernacular. We did not have to think about spy cameras. Well, I mean, and not that we, I guess I always felt like I behaved like someone was watching anyway, and I think most of us do anyhow. But that being said, you got to make sure that you're protecting yourself and you're being wise about what's going on and where you negotiate with your clients and where you talk about price and all that kind of stuff. Look, you don't do it in the home anymore. So, because there's always people watching right now, as creepy as that is. So, how do you tell if your millennial clients are ready to buy? So, just in talking, there's a new study out that said, how do you tell? And for realtors, this has been one of those big challenges, and not just for millennials, but for all of our buyers. Why, what are some tells? If you play poker, like what's that twitch you get when you're getting ready to bluff? But what are the tells for our millennials? So this is how you tell when the millennials are ready to buy. First thing is that they know that they're going to stay for a while. They've decided this is going to be at least their home for the next 3 to 5 years. Number 2 is that their dog needs a backyard. Sounds crazy, right? But 1/3 of millennial home buyers say that their dog incentivized them to buy. I think that's really, really cool. I mean, we're dog people too. We love our little greyhounds, and we have to have a fenced yard for them. So I guess, not that we bought our house for that reason, but they're a part of our world kind of thing. If they like DIY projects, and so if they're handy, that's another interesting tell. If they jump on and keep a mortgage calculator handy and are able to start crunching those numbers. If they have a really stable job. And then lastly is,
they have enough money
do
saved
they
for
have
down payment.
Exactly, kind of thing. So now, guess what, folks? It's not just millennials when it comes to the pets, right? 70% of American households share a home with at least one pet, mostly dogs and cats.
And honestly, if you remember, we broadcast a while back, pre-pandemic.
Easy for you to say.
I know. The pet adoption went skyrocket because, these folks are looking for companions. And so therefore, that's what's driving the percentage of furry animals.
Yep. Homes.com did a recent survey, and they said that 68% of respondents who weren't already living in a pet-friendly home said they had moved with the sole purpose of accommodating their pets.
Mm-hmm.
2/3 indicated they moved from renting to home ownership specifically to keep their pets happy. So, I mean,
they're family.
They are family kind of thing. Americans will move to meet their pets' needs. I just find that amazing and funny and cute and quirky. I mean, Americans are weird and we're okay with it. So, we're kind of the same way. I got you there. So 68% of pet owners said they would pass on the perfect home if it didn't meet their pet's needs. So this is one of those other interesting things that as a realtor, you gotta we have to take pets into play, both when we are the listing agent, understanding how important pets are to our sellers, but also understanding the needs of pet owners when they buy homes. Fenced yards, huge deal. We're seeing where some folks might be, oh, that's an ugly chain link fence. No, that's a great asset to suddenly have because I can keep my dog in the backyard now.
Right.
So we also have, one of the new studies that just came out is that build to rent suburbs are growing.
Absolutely.
And they're growing heavily right now.
PUD development. There are builder.
Well, but they're not just PUDs. They're build to rent. These are, as a realtor, we're
like
running around. We're like, oh, cool, a new neighborhood going in, and then you find out the whole thing's for rent.
So instead of condo at the beach, is condos here
in McDonough.
In McDonough, that is built strictly for investment purposes.
So now here's a crazy fact. Currently, right now, 6% of all new construction homes are now being built to rent.
Yep.
And the challenge for us here is at the same time, that number is supposed to double over the next 12 to 24 months kind of thing. So expect to see more and more of that kind of going on out there. I continue to see that being a challenge. We're seeing rents rents are now driving up faster than
right.
home prices are right now. And that's pretty typical. Rents tend to fall 3 to 9 months after home prices appreciate. But when rental contracts get renewed and that kind of stuff, so rents are going to continue to increase. And now there's a lot of investors that love being renters and how that works out.
Well, if you think about the apartment complex is not available anymore for a lot of investors to buy, where a lot of investment use that as a cash flow. And so now, the builders are now building apartments strictly for rent for that purposes.
And personally, I find that hard because we need those houses to sell, kind of thing.
Well, it is what it is.
Yeah. All right. We kind of want to wrap up with this, and that is Clayton County has just released a essential home repair program. Now, this is strictly for Clayton County residents, but Clayton County is clearly in the heart of our area, kind of thing. And so there are some requirements. They have to be over 62, disabled or a veteran, has to be a single family home. They have to have lived there at least 5 years, and they have some income requirements. However, the thing is that they'll help owners kind of thing with roofing, electrical, heating, AC, plumbing.
So for your elderly clients that are of age, qualify, income qualify with those stipulations, is a great program for them, especially we all know some of them are very limited income. So spread the word.
Well, but here's the deal. They're opening enrollment for like a day or like 2 days.
That is it.
So August 18th and August 19th. So if you have clients, friends, people that need this assistance, they have to call on those days to get set up in the program. This is not one of those where they want to sit back and wait and hang out on
this
it.
This is a very time limited, and I'm sure the funding is very limited too.
So they're only opening up for a couple of days. Make sure that if you have folks that you can go ahead and share that with them. So last thing is, if you need us, holler at us. So we hang out here afterwards. You can find us at max1.rocks/chat. And we appreciate you guys spending a Monday morning with us. We hope that you'll join us this afternoon in all of our offices where we're going to do Buffini and the 100 Days to Greatness. So thank you guys for joining us.
Come and be great with us.
Call, text, or smoke signals. We do it all.
All right. Happy Monday.